Very pleased with the win tonight. I was really proud of how my guys approached the start of the game. I thought we had a great first half, locked in on both ends. I thought defensively we were really locked in what we were trying to do against, a couple guys who are, in my opinion, pretty darn good players in Garrett and Kane. We thought overall, I thought the job Scotty and Vic did on those two kids was really good and just was a great half of basketball. We think we had 19 baskets in the first half, 18 assists. Just the ball was moving. We were sharing it. And then, I just thought kind of with the score and, we did not play as well in the second half. And give DePaul credit. I think a lot of it had to do with them. They kept fighting. They kept playing. They were pressing. They showed a lot of grit and heart by continuing to play. So, for us, are we happy to win? Absolutely. Just not as pleased with how we finished the game the last 20 minutes.
Coach, Vic and Scotty carrying the scoring load offensively. How have you seen them progress? And I guess even Scotty, winning that award today, won the award over the offseason. How have you seen him progress specifically?
Yeah, he's become, a mature, good player. He's really attacked. You could see physically he's gotten stronger. He's gotten better. I think his defense has really improved. He's become a two-way player. I'm really proud of him. He's playing great, and a lot of people wanted to. I think he took it as a personal challenge with the loss of Trey. Everybody wanted to know who was going to step up, and I think he privately, said I'm going to be that guy. And I'm really proud of the offseason he's had and what he's done early in this season. You look at those two wings, and they get 35 points, 12 assists, 12 rebounds. And they guard the other team's two best players. So to me, those guys did a great job in the game tonight.
Coach, 4 players scored in double figures, and Bryant McIntosh was not one of them. Can you just talk about other guys taking on some of the scoring load and how it's affected the versatility of your offense?
Yeah, fortunately, we were able to keep Bryant's. We got a lead, so he didn't have to play much in the second half. And we got that kind of a team. There's going to be nights where he's going to have to do what he did in the Wake Forest game. A night like tonight, he could distribute and get guys shots and set the table, and we have enough firepower, to win a game like that as well. For us to score 80 points and him only get one basket, it shows, we got a lot of guys who can score. So, with the improvement of Vic and Scotty, the improvement of Gavin, I think even the improvement of Sanjay, that hasn't been talked about. Sanjay's now becoming a reliable offensive player. You leave him open, he can make open threes. He's finishing around the basket. Just playing, what do you have, a double-double tonight, 11 and 10. So, I think the emergence of some of those guys, has really, Derek, when he gets back, and now some of our other bench guys. Taphorn had a double-figure game. Isaiah's had double-figure games. So we just have more firepower, so there's not as much on Bryant's plate to have to score every night, which is a good thing.
Today,
Mm-hmm. Well, we just tried to make it, where he didn't see a lot of space. He's a really good player, and what we told the guys, you're not going to shut a guy like that out. He's too good of a scorer. He's going to make some shots. We just got to make him work, try to make him shots that aren't as comfortable for him. We didn't really let him get out and get any easy baskets. I thought we plugged our gaps pretty well. He's such a strong driver. I thought we kept him out of the paint pretty well, and just we didn't let him get going. He's one of those guys, if he makes one or two, he can throw up 18 to 20 and a half, and I thought we did a good job of never really kind of letting him get started. And certainly our game plan was really focused on him and Billy because of our respect for those two guys.
Coach, Isaiah had a rough night in the win.
Yep.
Struggled with fouls, wasn't shooting the ball well. But you mentioned previously he has had double-figure games, some very good performances early in his career. How would you sum up what you've seen from him in his first 8 or so college games?
Yeah, he's done fine. He's a freshman, so there's going to be nights like tonight. There's going to be nights like Texas when he plays great and helps us win. And, I think it's the ebbs and flows of what freshmen go through. I think the good part about our team now is, we're not so reliant every night on our freshmen. They can kind of go through those peaks and valleys, and we can help them along, and hopefully they can be great learning experiences. It wasn't one of his best nights, but he's a big part of what we're doing, and his pop off the bench, his ability to score and make plays and get into the lane is going to be very big as we continue to move forward with the season. I thought both him and Jordan getting extended minutes in the second half was just really good. They need to play, so you get a game like that where they could get out there and get some minutes and kind of fight through some ups and downs, I think is always a good thing.
Building on that, you've had so many close games coming down to the last minute, and to play a team it's certainly not a pushover like DePaul, and to be able to have that time to experiment with different lineups and sort of mess around with things in the second half. How beneficial was that?
Yeah, it's always good. It's always good when, you don't have to play to the buzzer. You can, we did a great job in the first half, and, to be able to get BMAC only 24 minutes, was especially him because he carried such a big load, was really good. And to get our bench, I mean, everybody in Tap would have played, all 9 guys would have played double-figure minutes if Taphorn didn't foul out. So, I mean, that was a real positive in my opinion, being able to get a lot of guys minutes and meaningful minutes. So it's always good to have a game like that, and we've had our share of close ones. I mean, 5 of our last 6 games have been against high major opponents, and for us to get through that stretch and be 4-2 in that 6-game stretch with 2 games that we lost right to the last possession, I'm really pleased with how we're playing right now.
The team looks much improved in transition. How much of that do you think ties back to Vic on the defensive end coming out, and how much is really a difference of philosophy, I guess, for the team?
Yeah, I don't know if it's as much as philosophy. I just think you have 2 guys in Scotty and Vic that excel, and we're passing ahead to those guys, and they can make plays in the open floor. So, we've always said to push it, but, one of the ways you got to push it, you got to get stops. So because our defense was so good in the first half, we were able to get a lot of transition situations. Second half, we weren't getting stops, so we didn't get in transition. So, we always want to get out, and having those 2 wings that can kind of fill lanes and get to the basket and make plays, I think has been a big part of that as well.
Talking about really complimentary about just the way you're kind of building this program, and I don't know if you could just speak to kind of the patience it takes to do that and the planning. It's not like, the one and done thing, but just all that goes into that. And just also, I know coaches don't like to talk about big picture stuff in December, but
right.
just, what this group is like.
I mean, ours has been a progression. I mean, it's a great question. I mean, you go through some stretches in those first couple of years, it's tough, but you try to always look at the long term, and now we're starting to get the fruits of some of, the work of the Vic Laws and the Scott Lindsays and Gavin Skellys and Brian. Those were the young guys in the early years, just like DePaul has young guys now. And, I think Dave is the right guy. He did it before. He's going to do it again. And, for us, it's our 4th year now. So what I like is there's kind of a culture in place of, the players that are in the program are kind of preaching the message instead of just me all the time. And that's when you're starting to turn the corner. And, then the end result is always the wins and losses, and we've been seeing a lot of good things the last couple years, and we've had to fight through some really tough times, and we've had some amazing highs as well. But it's been a fun process. I'm not the most patient guy in the world, so, sometimes I look back and think of some of those times, and it's what's made me better, though. Going through those times, you become a better coach, you become a better leader, and I love coaching this team. I really do. This is a great group of guys. I don't know what that's going to mean at the end of the day, but we all are invested. We're all really working towards the same goal, and it's been a lot of fun so far, and hopefully we can keep it going.
Off that question, what's the biggest hurdle in terms of rebuilding the program?
Yeah, well, for me, probably just instant gratification. With our administration, Dr. Phillips, Morty, when we started this whole thing, it was for it was about building a program. And of course, everyone wants that one team that's going to cross the bridge and make it. And that's going to happen. I don't know when, hopefully this year, but that's going to be a stepping stone and a milestone we get to. But when we started this thing, there was a common vision of all of us let's create a program. And to do that, you have to make some decisions at times that aren't short-term decisions. And we've really invested in players that we believed in, and you're seeing now, we've invested in those guys, Gavin Skelly, Scott Lindsay, Vic Law, Bryant McIntosh, part in foul zone. You know, those are guys in the first couple years that we've invested in and we've tried to develop. And now you're seeing them as older players really step up and be those guys that we always envisioned. And I think that's how you can build for the long term, because now, you know, now you have young guys in that are learning from those guys, and then they become older players. So the hardest part was just, you know, early, just, you know, taking a lot of losses and taking some lumps and just being that competitive guy that wants to win every game, but understanding that it was the big picture and that there were a lot of good things going on behind the scenes.
With Derek out, just how do you feel Barrett did tonight, and also Gavin?
I thought they did great. I mean, Gavin's been really good, so I mean, I wasn't worried about him. He's been playing great. Obviously, Barrett, this was new territory. He hadn't gotten a chance to play a lot. And I thought early, you guys saw, we tried to go to him right away just to ease his nerves. I mean, he's a freshman. He's going to be a little bit nervous. It means a lot to him. And we went to him in the post. He hit a jump hook early, kind of, you know, got his anxiety out of the way. And I thought he did a great job. You know, are there things he can do better? Absolutely. But the only way you can learn those things is to play. He played 20 minutes, and we'll have a great amount of tape to kind of show him the things he did well, the things he can improve upon, and we're going to need him. I mean, Derek's going to be out for a while, so we're going to need him to continue to progress in his role.